You do the work.
Yeah.
I'm putting our fate into your hands.
Well,
you're the one who will lead us forward into a shining new newspapery destiny. Ooh. Hi, friends. Welcome. We're back with more Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective. We're continuing the West End adventures, which are most distinctive for not being the Jack the Ripper murders. Yeah. They're so great. I love that they're not those. I love them. They are terrific. At least I loved last week's. I don't know how much I'm going to love this week's, as it has the ominous title of The Murder of Sherlock Holmes.
What?
Most confusingly, it's not the last mystery in the book. What's going on? Hello, what's going on?
Heck if I know.
Answer me.
I'm a dog. I don't know.
Sherlock, yes, every single mystery from here on out is just, it was an evil twin.
An evil polo twin? No, that's not possible.
Sherlockidus. This is his name. That's, yeah.
Bye, Polo.
Oh, goodbye, Polo. This is going too far, Watson. Holmes was pacing the room while reading a newspaper when he shouted and threw the newspaper at the doctor's feet. I tolerate your stories in the Strand, despite it bringing me abundant mail, which interferes. They have also brought you a few interesting cases, Watson interrupts him, his face crimson. I can especially no longer show myself in public. The last time we went to Albert Hall, I was getting more attention than the public is showing you its affection and its respect. Poppycock. And what about the tobacco merchant who sells a cigar with my name? He sends you a box every month, says Watson, while motioning at the pile of cigar boxes next to the fireplace. They aren't very good.
Wow,
says Sherlock Holmes. Watson and he break out in laughter. I'm sorry, my friend, I must be getting old, but the idea of a play based on my adventures seems to be the last straw that broke the camel's back, especially when the main role is played by an American. The door opens abruptly under Wiggins' push as he enters with a determined step, followed by a young man. Out of breath, he has clearly climbed the 17 steps leading to Holmes' living room at full speed. Mr. Holmes, I'm in need of your help, shouts Wiggins. Calm yourself. My help is of course yours. What do you want? Who is that young man? It's Billy, your groom. Billy? Get a hold of yourself, Wiggins. Billy left London months ago. Years ago. He's a policeman at Oxford. No, his name is Charlie. I mean, he plays Billy's role in the play about you. Very well. What happened? You've been killed! Really? Again. Wiggins corrects himself. Mr. Reza, the American actor who has your role, has been killed. And Billy's brother has been arrested. And who is that? Me! He plays the role of me! Charlie begins talking.
I should explain what happened, Mr. Holmes. Wiggins has suffered a shock. It seems the police don't like him very much.
Lestrade, says Wiggins, rolling his eyes to the sky. Answers Holmes. Resume your telling of events, Charlie.
Today, the costume rehearsal is being held. The premiere is happening in 2 days. But with Holmes' death, nothing's for certain anymore.
Charlie's gaze and voice is filled with sadness. I do wish you'd stop talking about the actors by using the name of the character. It's not only disturbing, but it's also disconcerting to hear the details of one's own murder be repeated. Holmes punctuates that remark with a wide smile, which puts Charlie at ease.
Yes, sir. It's an actor's habit to remain in character. We spent the morning going over the play. The director, Mr. Betancourt, wants to rehearse Act 2 after lunch. Most of the actors had gathered on the stage to listen to Mr. Betancourt's remarks. It was 1:45 when we heard a shot ring out from backstage, and the shout of a woman. We rushed backstage into Razor's dressing room. Sidney was leaning over Razor's body, a pistol in hand. Razor was dead!
And the woman who shouted, asks Holmes.
Jean Borain, the costume maker for Maria Leslie. She ran to the Razor's dressing room when she heard the shot. She declared that Sidney was already there with a pistol in hand.
That sounds like a bad start, says Holmes.
I know, sir, but I'm sure that my brother didn't kill Mr. Razor. He's incapable of killing anyone. I'm sure of that.
For the first time, emotion floods Charlie's voice. Sorry, I haven't quite been reading it that way. Charlie's right. Sidney isn't a killer, Mr. Holmes. You must help us. I have no choice but to solve my own murder. I'll look into the case more closely, Charlie. I'll ask Mr. Hall to contact your brother in Newgate in order for him to be freed. But from what you've told me, it won't be simple. Holmes goes to Charlie and lays a paternal hand on the young man's shoulder. Don't worry. Don't worry. If your brother is innocent, we'll prove it. Go home and get some rest. After Charlie's departure, we sit around the round oak table to talk in front of a coffee. I didn't want to say anything in front of the coffee. I didn't want to say anything in front of Charlie Wiggins, but this case seems to be off to a bad start. Is there anything more you could tell us that could help? I'm afraid not. How many people were in the theater when the shot was fired? A whole team was there, as well as Mr. Betancourt, the director. There was also Jean Borain, Richard Essex, the stage manager, and Brian Smith, the doorman. Wiggins hands the program to Holmes. There's a list of names and such on the next page. Missed it. There it is. A scandal in Bohemia. Watson, I recognize your style. Holmes didn't shout, but his voice went higher. He gives the program to Watson as if it were a proof of a perpetrated misdeed. I didn't see anything wrong in them using my writing, answers Watson in a timid voice. Public loves that story. We even agreed when I told you about it. You've always been able to get me to agree to anything, Watson, or maybe it's my vanity, which is greater than I'd like to admit. How did you become a character in this story, Wiggins? I don't remember you being a part of this adventure. I was added for dramatic effect, Mr. Holmes. Mr. Reza took a lot of liberties with the original story. Wiggins' answer causes a motion of Holmes' head. And why aren't you playing your own role? I didn't match the character. The answer triggers a smile on Holmes' face. Come with me, Wiggins. Let's go and solve this case. As we look about to follow them, Holmes cuts us short. What don't you stay with Watson, my friends? I'm in the mood for my actions to not be the front page of the show's section. We'll meet up at the denouement. A deathly silence floats in the room after the departure of Holmes and Wiggins. No matter! Exclaims Watson. We'll investigate this case ourselves! He rushes for the exit. We follow him with a little assured step, wondering if we're not missing important information for the rest of this adventure. And then the next page has some information on the different roles pertinent to the particular case. Wiggins is playing the role of the major domo, presumably to the king of Bohemia. All sorts going on.
Let's see if I can grab some pencils and paper.
Oh, certainly.
Which are in diary.
Look in the drawer right there.
Paper, I think.
Yes.
Yes. Awesome. I found paper.
Good work. One, please. Thank you.
I'll keep the rest handy if needed.
I could have sworn that I got everything ready. Well, Herbie's on the case. In the meanwhile...
So, Henry Wiggins is Wiggins?
Yes, Henry Wiggins is the person Wiggins. The character of Wiggins is being played by Sidney Chaplin.
Okay.
Right.
Careful, these pencils are quite pointy already.
Hey,
Sorry.
sorry about that. Did I read that correctly? Billy is being played by Charlie Chaplin?
I'm sorry? What?
Charlie Chaplin.
Wow. We should probably talk to him.
Well,
Wait, was
I
I...
don't remember him saying
Is that,
much,
is that who... Did I just come up with Charlie Chaplin's real voice?
Well, no, he doesn't say anything in his movies.
Well, no, but he wasn't in a movie. He was talking to Sherlock Holmes.
True.
Maybe this is him as a boy.
Maybe.
maybe.
Wow, I can't believe that I, Brendan McLeod, got to
No.
provide the voice for legendary
It's
character actors.
1898. Didn't Charlie Chaplin have a prominent role in World War II? Which I guess, that's only another 40 years.
I don't know all that much about Charlie Chaplin, but he was alive in time for this to be happening.
When was he born?
He was a handsome man. He was born in 1889.
He would have been about 9 or 10 years old.
Perfect. Then yes, that is this case solved. Thank you for tuning in. Well,
Sorry, I gotta write down some of the
Very funny, Cursed Soul.
Details.
Cursed Soul asks, who's the guy in glasses?
Polo.
Polo.
Let's see.
Where is he? He's not here at all. You tricked me.
Yes. So then they heard a shot, and then there was a silhouette of a woman. Is that right?
A woman yelled. That's Jean... something. Almost certainly. But someone that works there, I believe.
Okay.
Polo. Hi, Polo.
Okay, Mr. Razor was the American actor.
Let's probably go to the theater or wherever they're rehearsing, right?
Yes.
Do we have that info?
The scene of the crime, I think, would be very pertinent.
There actually didn't seem to be anything in the newspaper that jumped out at me, but I didn't get a lot of time to look at it yet either.
Huh. Probably in the first page, 'cause that's if we're looking for the location.
Ah. Let's see, it's
On the first page.
Oh, sorry, I was looking for something else.
Right.
First page, let's see. Albert Hall.
Albert Hall.
Wait, well, that was the last time we went to Albert Hall, sorry. That might not be the location of the play.
They talk about starting. They talk about the rehearsal they just had.
Yeah.
Starting.
The rehearsal and the premiere is in 2 days.
Yeah, but I didn't see the location yet.
Most of the actors had gathered on stage to.
DIT.
This seems absurd. How could they have not? Oh, yes, DLT. That's probably our clue.
That's probably a theater, yeah.
Quickly, to the DL Theater.
DLT. Drury Lane. Oh, I guess Drury Lane Theater. Yeah.
Yeah,
There you go.
perfect.
I was looking for a T, then I was like, oh, theater.
All right.
31 West Central.
Some sort of muffin man.
Would you like to read the entry for Drury Lane Theater, Lobos?
Or
Take it away.
37 West Central?
31.
31 West Central.
Okay. All right. There's a bunch of imagery and lists.
Oh, interesting.
And not too much sex. Oh, wait. Okay. We make our way through the compact crowd of Drury Lane. The gin stores with their shady patrons and their drunken prostitutes aren't that different from the illustrations of Hogarth for A Harlot's Progress a century earlier.
Nice.
At the entrance to the Drury Lane Theater, we're greeted by a warm welcome from the doorman, Brian Smith. Oh, for sure. I'd do me best to help Wiggins and this poor chaplain. Are there any exits to this theater other than this door? Not yesterday, in any case. When there's no play, our doors are closed. Deliveries come through here. Everyone goes through this door, and I jot down the coming and going in this journal.
What was this guy's name again?
Brian Smith.
Thank you.
Can we see yesterday's journal? Sure thing. We'd also like to have a look at and talk to the other members of the troupe who were here yesterday. Sure, they're almost all here. Wiggins must have already gathered them here, he says as he returns to his duties. Oh, this is a massive entry. Never mind.
Is this like a whole bunch of broken up paragraphs?
It's, there's like one entry per person.
Right, okay.
So for the following clues, refer to the theater map.
Mm-hmm.
Each person or room that you visit counts as a lead.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
So maybe we'll pass the book around a little bit.
Yeah, so we've got the list of people here. And then each person has their own entry. So Razor's dressing room would be interesting, if that's where we think he died.
It's certainly where,
Was that where you-
something went down. Or was it? Let's
Yeah.
very
Can we
briefly
go back to the first century? I still need to take a couple of notes from it anyway. So I have an idea of what we're poking at.
We spent the morning going over the play. The
Okay.
director, Mr. Betancourt, wanted to rehearse Act 2 after lunch. Most of the actors had gathered on stage to listen to his notes. At 1:45, everyone heard a shot ring out from backstage, then the shout of a woman. We rushed backstage into Razor's dressing room. Sidney was leaning over the body with a pistol, and he was dead. The woman that shouted is named Jean Burain, as in B-E Rain, the costume maker for Maria Leslie, who plays the lead actress. She ran to Razor's dressing room when she heard the shot. She declared that Sidney was already there with a pistol in hand.
So she did it, framed him.
Yes.
Good
Yeah.
Good game.
We solved 2 cases this week. Well, we didn't need Sherlock after all. Either one of them. And the other person of note mentioned in this is Richard Essex, who is the stage manager at the Drury Lane.
Okay. Honestly, based on that, I would say our first stop should either be where he was shot or talking to the first witness, which would be Sidney.
Yes, Sidney, I believe, is in jail.
Yeah. Yep, probably with Edward Hall, because I think that was even mentioned during the intro that he was with Hall at the... Something about talking to Hall to get him out of jail or something?
Yes, but we're at the theater now, so...
Well, right, but I mean, it doesn't cost us an extra lead to jump around.
Well, we just got here.
We talked to the general man.
I just got a hot dog.
Well, we can start. We can start with the room where he was shot.
popcorn. Yes, excellent. Would you like to visit the dressing room where the body was discovered?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, then I think it's actually a Herbie turn to read.
Yes. Let me see.
Seems good.
Yes, that entry begins here at the bottom of that page.
Okay. Cool. All right. Razor's dressing room. The small dressing room doesn't contain any extraneous decoration, but simply a small table covered with makeup, 2 wooden chairs, and a small camp bed. Watson examines the bed and lifts the cover. At that moment, something falls to the ground. Watson kneels to pick it up.
It's another Sherlock Holmes.
It's a pocket watch chain. Well, half of a chain, says Watson as he looks at it. Let's see what else we can find. He looks at the mattress and lifts it to inspect the base. There's a nail sticking out, remarks Watson. It's located in the middle of one of the long sides of the bed frame. The traces on the wood are recent. It was nailed in a day or 2 ago. What is it used for? I don't know. It's just a twisted nail. And that, what is that? Watson pulls out a magnifying glass and observes a mark on the wall just above the nail. It looks like powder. There's no hole, no bullet. Let's see. Watson moves the bed away from the wall and inspects the floor. Ah, there it is. Watson picks up a small round object and inspects it with his magnifying glass. What is it? A cotton stopper, used for blank shots. Got a couple of notes.
So the evil twin faked his death.
There you go.
It's part of an ARG for this new theatrical performance,
Yes.
Amazing.
which is, of course, a pirate-based reality game.
Indeed.
Okay, so alright.
Now I'm a lot more interested in seeing that body.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, man, remember the episode of House where they started doing an autopsy and he woke up in the middle of it?
Oh god.
Yeah. Man, House was a great show some seasons.
What if the body's just a sack of potatoes? And they're like, well, here's a... Wait a minute!
Wait, do you mean like lying on the table is just a sack of potatoes that
Yeah.
everyone's understood to be a person?
Yeah, and they're like...
Or like you cut open the body and inside, instead of organs, it's just potatoes?
I like the first result better.
Okay. Well, yes. I think I'm imagining like someone doing like that ninja move where they just replace themselves with a log. So there was a body there, but he's like jutsu'd out and replaced himself with potatoes.
There you go.
Okay, well, we're going to the morgue in that case.
Potato shop.
That seems like a pretty good idea.
Okay. Is that Meeks?
Let's see here. That is, yep, head medical examiner Meeks.
Okay, I'll cram a post-it note here so we can return to the theater quickly and easily.
That is a happy idea.
Waypoint unlocked.
So many Ubers.
We're getting that back. Did you hear?
Oh, in Austin?
Yeah,
I
it's
heard they
coming
were
back.
trying to. Is
Yeah.
it confirmed? Yeah.
Apparently, they have said officially they're coming back. I hope that Lyft comes back because I vastly prefer Lyft. Okay, where's Meeks again? 22?
38 EC.
38. 22 is the other guy. It's a death by bullet, says Meeks. Only one bullet, shot straight in the eye. In the eye? A quick death. A bullet came from below, going upwards, and lodged itself in the brain. What's the time of death? Between noon and 1. Hard to be more precise. What have you discovered during your autopsy, Doctor? Well, there are signs of regular and sustained opium use. I don't know what to tell you. Strand told me the version from the man he arrested. I don't think the murder could have happened as he describes it. There are no signs of powder burn around the wound, so the pistol had to be at least 3 feet away from the victim. That doesn't help the young man's testimony. Thank you, Dr. Meats. You're always of great help, concludes Watson enthusiastically. Huh. Huh.
Shot in the eye from below.
Definitely dead.
Definitely shot.
Now, potatoes do have eyes, so we haven't ruled that out.
That's true.
This is one rare case where speaking to Lestrade to find out what Lestrade thinks he knows might be a worthwhile idea. I mean, Meek's got some version of a story from a man that's currently in custody. Presumably, Lestrade would be able to report that information back.
Let's see. I'm sorry, I want to review what he...
Couldn't we also go to the prison and get testimony from him directly?
Yes,
what
absolutely.
That's what I was thinking. Let's see, what did he say? 38. Let's see. Lestrade told me the version from the man he arrested. Yeah, I don't think the murder could have happened as he describes it. So I guess if we're going to visit Hull, that's the Old Bailey Court, 36cc.
Okay. EC 36.
Which might make sense.
36 EC?
Yep.
Oh, never mind.
My friends, I'm happy to see you, and I'm sure that Mr. Chaplin will be even more delighted. Come, let's go talk to him, Hull says to us. It's a distraught Sidney Chaplin who is waiting for us in a small cell set aside for discussions between prisoners and their lawyers. You need to tell the police that it's a mistake. Watson takes control of the conversation. Mr. Chaplin, we're doing everything we can. Sherlock Holmes has gone to investigate. I'm sure that everything will go well. Tell us what happened to you. Charlie and Wiggins finished your lunch. Wait. Tell me what happened after you, Charlie, and Wiggins finished your lunch.
Well, they ate my lunch, so I killed them with a gun.
Sherlock Holmes, what a relief. Sidney takes a deep breath. As you probably already know, we had lunch at Punch and Judy's. Sabalani called me over.
Are you casting a magical spell?
Sabalani!
I'm hungry.
Called me over as we were leaving. He asked me to tell Razor that he'd be a few minutes late, as he needed time to finish his meat pie, and that he wouldn't be long. We went back to the theater. Wiggins and Charlie went to see Betancourt, and I was supposed to rehearse a scene with Mr. Razor. I was a few minutes early, but I went straight to Razor's dressing room to give him Sabalini's message. I knocked on his door, no answer. I knocked again, and then opened the door. Mr. Razor was lying on the bed, back to me, sleeping. I knew what we were expected. I knew that we were expected by Mr. Betancourt in a few minutes, so I wanted to wake him. I shook him by the shoulder. I think I scared him. I saw that he had the pistol in his hand. Everything happened so quickly. He turned and the shot was fired. I tried to take the pistol away from him and he fell to the ground. That's all I know. Everything happened so fast. Sidney has become increasingly agitated as he recounts the events that took place in the dressing room. He's on the verge of tears. Watson attempts to calm him down. Before we can continue, Watson attempts to calm him down. Before we continue, a guard comes in. It's time, guys. You need to go now. And
We're gonna kill him.
As we exit the Old Bailey, Hull puts his hand on Watson's shoulder. We need proof, my friend. We're missing pieces to complete the puzzle. Would you like to take a look at that?
Yeah, there's a lot to that one.
That was a mysterious turn of events.
Seems like everyone's got some different version of what's going on.
Yeah, 3 feet away, right?
That's what Meek says, but
Yeah.
at this point, I'm not even clear on who fired at who.
Let's see. Open the
We know
door.
one of the shots that was fired was blank.
We only heard about one shot so far.
That is true. That is true.
Yes, we know that at some point a blank was shot in that room.
Right.
Yep.
Doesn't even necessarily have to have been that day.
No.
I guess if the pistol that the man was holding was the one that he wrestled away from him.
Well, wait a minute. He shot himself. He was shot through the eye, right?
Yes.
But there were no powder burns. If he was holding the gun and shot himself in the eye from below,
Yeah, it's in 3 feet.
I mean, he'd almost have to be doing something like this
Yeah.
for that situation to make sense.
I think below is saying like it went like up like this, right? Into the brain.
Yeah.
Still, but regardless, if you're
Yeah.
in control of a pistol, it's very hard to shoot yourself in the eye with that pistol and not
Yeah.
and be 3 feet away at the
Yeah,
same
it
time.
sounds like the gun that killed him was probably not the wrestle gun.
That nail in the bed makes me wonder a little too. It's an odd thing.
Yeah, that's weird.
Okay, everything happens so fast. Yeah. Okay. Well, one thing I do wonder about is that guy who sent him away but was not there himself. But there's no reason to suspect him yet, I guess.
We could try and narrow down the timeline because they said that somebody stayed back, right, to like finish their.
Yeah, the guy who stayed back was also the guy who sent Sydney to the room in the first place. That's why I perked up a little about that. It's like, oh, I'm going to be late. You go there. Yeah, like I said, not on its own. It's not anything yet, but it's something I'm keeping in mind. Forensic analysis perhaps could help. Which would be Murray.
Is there a way we can try and track down? I don't know if the pocket watch chain is anything relative, but if we, like figure out who the manufacturer or something. But then we don't have anybody to link it back to.
Well, I think finding out whether or not if he did indeed have the other half of it in his person or something like that might be a good idea. So following Herbie's suggestion of talking to the criminologist might be a good idea.
Yeah.
All right. Do you want to take that one, Lobos?
Oh. Yeah. Sure.
22 Southwest.
Yeah. Did we switch directions?
Maybe.
22 south, west, central, northwest. Okay.
Are you quite all right?
Sorry, I've been thinking about just images tagged with your Uber driver is here.
Well, there are a few of those.
Let's see. Where's little Wiggins? The venerable criminologist asks us. He's busy elsewhere. We've come to discuss the razor case. Murray seems bothered to not find his favorite whipping boy, but places a box on the table from which he pulls out a number of items. A pistol, a sort of long tube, a pointed stick, an oil lamp, a flask filled with some sort of thick brown substance, masculine clothes, a half sheet of crumpled paper, a small item wrapped in cotton, and change for a total of £3 and 12 shillings.
Is this a list of Dark Souls starting gifts?
Murray looks down at the tube and various other items. Our victim smoked opium, patna from India. This is his vice. It seems he preferred to avoid smoking in the detestable atmosphere of opium dens. Watson examines the crumpled paper. It's a telegram form. The police found it in the wastebasket. It's addressed to Jack Vernon, and it just says, "Have you reconsidered my offer?" Murray takes the pistol and continues his examination. It's a Webley Mark I, a rather common weapon. 5 bullets and an empty chamber. Murray extracts the bullets from the charger as he talks. There's also a great amount of powder in the pistol. Any of it found on the clothing? Yes, notably on the victim's shirt. No hole, however. I was given to understand that he'd been shot in the eye. Very interesting. Murray then examines the wrapped item. What is it, we ask. Razor's pocket watch, answers Murray. The chain is broken. Part of it is missing. Exactly, but that's not the most interesting thing. The bullet, or more precisely, the lead extracted from the body. Murray picks up a mushroom-shaped piece of lead with a pair of tweezers. He wasn't shot with the web blade, but with an air pistol. Not practical, but silent.
Oh. Stealth camouflage. Okay.
Well, we have Jack Vernon.
We do.
I was curious if it was possible if there's a silenced weapon. And
There, as a matter of fact, there is a published, bless you,
Thank you.
published Sherlock Holmes story wherein the twist of the mystery is a silenced rifle, which we of course know exists, but was perhaps a novelty back then. So now this idea of a silent assassin has me wondering, what room is there connected to where Mr. Razor's room is?
Right. Makes sense.
So there's his room there,
Yep.
which means there's a corridor and there's some sort of a thing over here,
Yep.
but actually we don't have a whole lot else in between.
Other dressing rooms.
Other here is Bahrain's room. That's the
That's the
costume
lady
designer.
room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hadn't noticed there's a timeline of events here.
Oh.
Starting from the doors opening, with everyone coming and going.
yeah. I was about to say, because, the guy
Oh, right.
said that he, the
Yeah,
doorman,
yeah.
which means that we can essentially narrow down our suspects to people who are inside the theater
Building at the time, yes. Chaplin brothers arrived. Wiggins arrives. Leslie and Beeston arrive. Old Mixon, I'm going in backwards order here. D. Oliver departs. F. Stanley goes for lunch. Sabellini goes for lunch. Essex goes for lunch. Those guys came back. I'm wondering when, if at all, a telegram arrived. None seems to have for Mr. Razor. Although a telegram did arrive for Daniel Oliver, who I don't know who he is. Well. Additionally, there was a delivery from a group called Sidley and Sons, delivered a carpet, which, if I wanted to be smuggled into a place, I'd hit up Sidney and Sons for their expert carpet delivery. Probably.
Sorry, it's like this mental picture you
Wait,
unroll-
spell the name of the
there's
place?
a guy with a gun there, like,
Da-da-da!
Sidley, Sidley.
Okay, never mind.
Why? What did you have?
There's Mr. Daniel Sidney had died very recently.
Aw, poor guy.
I'll get a listing for Sidley just in case you want to go. Sidley.
Okay, well, I would like to know more about Jack Vernon.
certainly.
I think maybe...
That's his real name.
Yeah, exactly. Is there Vernon in the directory? There is.
Okay. Do we want to talk to him?
Absolutely.
Cool. Where is he at?
67 Northwest.
Alright. 67.
Find him and beat the answers out of him.
Okay,
It's
67.
a
Mon-
potato.
Yeah.
67 Northwest, you said?
Yes, please.
Wait, that's the body.
Why have we been bringing it with us?
Alright. The walls of Jack Vernon's study are covered with posters of theatrical plays he directed. Jack Vernon sits in front of us and answers Watson's first question. Yes, I do, William Razor. When did you see him for the last time? That was 6 weeks ago. We met to have dinner at my club, the Cavendish. Was there a specific reason for this meeting? He wanted me to direct his new play. I told him I had other engagements. So he then hired Mr. Betancourt. No, Mr. Betancourt had already been hired by Oliver, the producer, but William wasn't completely satisfied by that choice. Why? Well, various reasons. Artistic differences is what we usually say in the business. Razor is a very demanding writer and actor. His play was very important to him. So why was Betancourt chosen then? Oliver's money, Oliver's choice. Had you had any news of Razor since your meeting? Yes, about a week ago. He called me late at night in a state of extreme agitation and had delirious things to say about the catastrophic direction of his play. It's rather common in the weeks before the premiere. I didn't pay any particular attention to it. He told me that Betancourt was incompetent and an ignorant oaf. He thought that I could pick up the play and fix it. What did you tell him? That it was out of the question. As I said previously, Oliver has the last word in the matter of the direction. Moreover, I didn't want to have anything to do with William Razor after the disastrous experience of Henry VIII. The arguments with Sabellini about Finley, the abandoning of the production. To tell you the truth, I was surprised Oliver would work with that man again. Of course, Razor is so egocentric that he never sees himself as the problem. He believes that everyone will jump at the opportunity to direct the great William Razor. He argued with Sabellini? What about? Look, I'm sorry. There are enough rumor mongers to feed the entire British press. I want no part of that. That's it. Well, Sabellini just jumped up a couple of points on my interest meter, I think.
Yes,
also,
indeed.
he didn't mention anything about having sent that telegram.
No. I wonder if that was a telegram that
He was going to send?
he was going to send to
Oh, shoot.
the director.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we should reread
Yeah.
it and see if it's to or from.
Where did we discover that? Was that at
Murray, 22 Southwest.
Okay.
Sounds right.
It is addressed to Jack Vernon. Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
there we go. Yeah, now that all checks out.
Yes, actually, I think we should have gathered that from. It's a telegram form, not a telegram. So it's one you fill out in order to send it. As we all know from our extensive use of
I use
telegrams.
them every day.
I use them twice. Would we like to speak to Nicola Sabellini?
That seems like a fine idea.
Okay, this is back at the theater. The well-filled out actor fills his small brandy glass for the second time since our arrival, but he still hasn't answered our first question. I don't know what you may have heard about me. Forked tongues seem to get untied. I wasn't even at the theater at the time of the murder, says Sabellini, as he puts down his glass to light a cigar. His right hand shakes nervously. We're simply trying to help young Chaplin. If you have nothing to do with Razor's death, help us prove it, Watson enunciates sedately. Sabellini's eyes fix upon Watson. He smokes silently. After a good minute, he finally talks. It's true that I'm not saddened to learn about Razor's death. But all I have to say to you is, I've got nothing to do with that. And I'm not ready to lay out my private life for all to see.
Alright.
What a jerk. Well,
Can we verify with the records that he wasn't there?
yes, that checks out.
Okay, so he wasn't.
If he did come in, it wasn't through the front entrance anyway.
Carpet.
Perhaps the carpet. However, this talk of scandal and rumor has me thinking that there's only one society columnist who can come to our aid. Mycroft Holmes.
Oh, he's not the society column.
That's right, Herbie. I was telling one of those classic jokes.
Oh, I see.
Ha! I've rung your bell. Take that, varlet.
My goodness.
I feel physically threatened. Langdale Pike can be found at
2 Southwest.
2 Southwest, my good man. And step on it. Step on him. Step on me.
I'd rather not.
Daddy.
What?
Oh man, I definitely listened to an episode of a War podcast. I definitely shouldn't have done that. Yes. It was called Big Gulp. Anyway, let's play this word game.
I love Sonic Dreams Collection.
No!
Run away.
Langdale Pike.
Oh, all of my followers have disappeared. We don't have any more of those anymore.
Can't imagine how that happened.
Langdale Pike.
Not enough war.
Original Society columnist Do Not Steal. Greets us theatrically, as usual, and sits us in turn on chairs set in a circle. Watson is placed immediately to his right, and is Pike's center of attention. Watson, you so rarely honor me with your visits. Holmes isn't with you? I thought you two were inseparable. Langdale, Holmes isn't the subject, answers Watson as he blushes. Oh, we actually are getting into fanfiction.
Of course.
A dispute in the couple. Tell me, I want to know everything. Pike is jubilant while applauding with both hands. I'd rather hope that you would give me information about Razor's murder, answers Watson with a glacial tone. Langdale Pike's pouts disappointingly. Oh, what? And lets Watson continue. We suppose for the moment that the murderer would be a member of the company. It isn't the young chaplain? I don't believe so, answers Watson. He hands Langdale the program. What can you tell us about the members of the troupe? Langdale examines the program attentively. It's a long list, Watson, with many stories to tell. Well, we're here for that. I'll try not to fail my reputation, then. What do you want to know? Langdale adjusts his position on the sofa, preparing himself to our questions. Well, to start off, what can you tell us about Razor? William Razor was a popular American actor who came to London to perform once in a while. 2 years ago, he wrote and played Henry VIII for 8 months straight. He has a reputation for being demanding and quick to anger, hard to get along with. In Henry VIII, he evidently held the main role, and Sabellini played Wolsey. As in the play, the two came into conflict for various reasons, political and sentimental. Sentimental? Sentimental! Love life! Affaire d'amour! Who was the one involved? Ah, Watson, as Holmes would say, you see, but you're not observing. The other member of this love triangle was Ralph Finley. Ralph Finley? The child actor? I don't understand. The oldest child actor in the world, interrupts Langdale.
Oh, thank God.
Well, that's a relief.
Yeah.
A young rogue, ripe for all sorts of villainy.
Yes, an affair de l'amour.
Razor and Sabellini used to partake in the love that dare not speak its name, as Oscar Wilde would say. I'm sure that you have yourself frequented a few young beauties in your time, and they can be as mean and jealous no matter what their gender. And this drama is still ongoing? I thought it belonged into the past until Peter Hetherington's soiree. Hetherington. That's okay. That's a new one. At which Razor and Sabellini had both been invited. As the witching hour came, they came to blows under the veranda, and no one knows why. They both left the house in a hurry, with a black eye and a bruised ego. The tension between them still seems to be there even now. That's all for Razor and Sabellini. If those two have made efforts to hide their passions, Leslie and Bet Beeston have built their reputation on the publicity of their love life. They have become the most popular couple thanks to a series of vaudeville-esque comedies. Their life on stage looks like their daily life, or is it the other way around? For Weber, it's another story, a real Don Juan. I know from a reliable source that he once frequented 4 women at the same time, each feeling as happy as a young newlywed.
Real quick.
Yes.
Nice.
I don't have much to say about the Chaplin brothers, or Clara Oldmixon. However,
Yes.
However, I'd have a lot to tell about the man called Wiggins, says Langdale with a knowing smile, and we all break out laughing. What can you tell us about the producer and the director? Asked Watson, regaining his composure. If everyone was like Betancourt, I'd have to change jobs. He's boring. When he's not at the theater, he's at home. In Hampstead, I believe, with his wife and child or children, no matter. Daniel Oliver always seems to be on the point of making a fortune or losing everything. Many years ago, he had a liaison with Maria Leslie before she was married to Beeston. Rumor says the two are still intimately linked. And where does that rumor come from? Well, me, of course, says Langdale as he laughs. I have been seen having dinner together more than once, but they claimed they were discussing the possibility of a future role in one of Oliver's future productions. Langdale, sometimes I wonder if you don't invent half of what you talk about. What can you tell us about the others? He thinks while looking at the program again. The only person I know is Lawrence Beckwith, another young star in the world of theater. Lawrence Beckwith? Watson answers, unsurprised. Yes. He doesn't have the flamboyant lifestyle of the other artists, but it's said that he likes men over women. I don't know if I should thank you for all this information. Oh, Watson, I'm sure you'll find a way to help me out in turn. So, it's pages of scandal today.
Yes.
Yeah, Lawrence Beckwith.
Excellent. Well done. Well done.
Mm-hmm.
Well, most immediately, I think speaking to Peter Hetherington about the events at his party might be a good idea.
Yeah.
I'm liking that idea.
We could also... I'm a little bit more curious about Daniel Oliver, the producer, now that I know that his finances have been a little... Yeah. Also, something not to forget about Razor Sabellini and someone else. I think the Chaplin brother all had lunch at Punch and Judy's.
Mm-hmm.
We should not forget to follow up on that, I think.
And it's possible that Lawrence Beckwith is the new heartthrob. That
Could be. It might be worth talking to as well.
Indeed.
What do we think? I like.
Well, they did say that nobody knew why they were fighting at the soiree, right?
Yes, so I think maybe finding that out might be a good idea.
If nobody
But-
knew, Peter wouldn't know.
Yeah,
No
that's what
one
I'm
knew.
saying. Do you think we would find out if we went there and you'd just be like, oh,
Well, maybe you found out after the fact. I don't know.
I'd say save it for later. I mean, it's a good idea if we don't find it out some other way. But
Sure, that's fair.
Soiree scene investigation.
in that case, maybe Lawrence next.
I could deal with that. Yeah.
Okay.
It might be at the theater, I think.
I think it's Lobo's turn.
oh, I see. In one of those entries. Let's
Yeah. Lawrence Beckwith, if he is available.
see. No.
He's not?
Nope.
Son of a...
Well, as a question, since we have the program there, was he... Well, no, he wouldn't have probably been the one to commit the murder, but was he in the theater at the time? I guess that's worth knowing.
Oh, based on the journal?
Yeah.
Departs at 9:30 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Okay, so he wasn't there all day. Interesting.
Not through the front entrance, anyway.
True.
Lawrence Beckwith lives at 57 Southeast.
57 Southeast.
Or at least he has an address there.
Lawrence Beckwith greets us in his workshop in his 40s. He's dressed in a dark green velvet jacket, is well built and smiling. Good day, my friend. Good day. My friends and I are investigating Mr. Razor's murder, begins Watson. I suppose that you've heard about the arrest of Sidney Chaplin. We don't think he's guilty, and I was wondering if you'd have any information which could help us. Beckwith shakes his head. What a story! The Chaplin brothers are good boys. This makes no sense. But I don't know what to tell you. I arrived early to meet Betancourt and Richard Essex, but I left mid-morning. You've been a part of the London theatre scene for a long time. Would you know who would want to kill Razor? You're joking! Many people wanted Razor to die, but I can't see who could have done it. He was egocentric to the extreme. He had no consideration for the repercussions of his actions on the lives of others. He did whatever he wanted. Look at the program of any of his plays and you'll have the start of a list of suspects. Thanks for everything. If anything else comes to mind, contact us. Well.
Well,
Daniel Oliver.
maybe. This is the second, well, we've had a couple of leads sort of point us towards the older plays. Where would we speak to someone about what happened in Henry VIII?
Yeah.
Did they say who produces that?
This newspaper is only from 3 days prior, though. It's not likely. It's a police blotter. It doesn't. Well, the West Ham Music Festival, but.
Henry VIII, sadly, is not a musical.
Nope.
Well,
A comparison of various watches with a view to purchase should always result in the most reliable. Waltham watches. But I don't know what we would learn from talking to the guy who sold him the watch, even if that is what this is.
couldn't say. Looking through these other papers to see if there's, back in the Whitechapel days, some mention of a show. And one of the cases we've yet to get to has the headline of "A Child Stolen by a Monkey." So we'll have that to look forward to in the weeks ahead. This one has shoes,
Get some water real quick.
Buffalo Bill, Wild West Nights, New Mesmerism, Royal Italian Circus, Jack the Ripper, Bah! Germany, Deaths, Edison's Phonograph, Theft in the Crown Jewels Room, Explosion at the Guinness Brewery. Ads, Painless Tooth Care, Relics of Muhammad in Cairo, Shows, Robert James Lee, Irish Exhibition, Miss Belle Cole singing. Bah!
Who's the guy that told us about the guy who he was asking to be producer? Was that Vernon? The guy who
Yes,
turned down his
Jack
offer.
Vernon was
Jack
the guy that he was asking to replace Betancourt.
Right.
Oh, why is everything so difficult? A new embalming process. Dr. Jekyll. Extraordinary dog. Well.
Okay, so Daniel Oliver worked on Henry VIII. Alright.
Oh, really?
Was the producer.
Okay.
Because they said after the
Yes,
disastrous experience.
that's right.
Whatever.
So yeah, speaking to Daniel Oliver might be the right move anyway.
Let me see if we can
Remember when Herbie played this game with us?
He's not in
You guys remember Herbie, right?
Wait, oh,
Herbie!
Herbu.
Or his twin.
Well, I have Daniel Oliver in here. It's
Excellent.
not at the theater.
No. Whose turn is it to read?
I just read, right?
I think
Yes.
it's mine, yeah. Where's he at?
45 Southeast.
45 Southeast.
I hope he's not murdered. That can happen sometimes.
It does happen with monotonous regularity.
What if he's Sherlock Holmes? Or a bag of potatoes?
45 Southeast. Southeast.
Opens the doors.
Oh, no.
Da!
Ah, you're friends of Wiggins. Your timing is perfect. Sit down, please. Daniel Oliver greets us with open arms. I'd like to reach him as soon as possible. You see, he's Razor's understudy. He must take up the role. I'm counting on you to convince him. Well, he looks pretty upset by events. So you intend to continue with the play? Asked Watson. Yes, I'm rather obligated to. With the Allegro and the Lyceum also having shows in the works, Competition is fierce in the neighborhood. The show must go on, declares Oliver with emphasis.
Excellent, excellent. Wait, that's it?
Yeah.
Son of a bitch! All right, we got to find Wiggins and convince him to do it.
Well,
That's really good. Okay. What? Oh, wait.
There was Maria Leslie, who he was
could also
supposedly still having relations with.
could also talk to
Oh, then you discovered. Well, no.
Ralph.
No, go ahead.
yeah, we could also talk to Ralph and see if the original love triangle maybe was back in action. They were definitely fighting about something. Or we could talk to Peter since we haven't had any luck finding out on our own what they were fighting about.
Yeah, let's see what he's got to say.
Or you can find out where that carpet came from. No.
Yeah.
Hetherington.
Jeez.
I wonder if, this is a little bit of a shot in the dark, but I wonder if maybe one of these other informants would have information on an older play in London. Like, there's this other journalist. There's, I don't know.
Well, the only issue I have with that is I feel like the list of members of this play and the list of people who are in the thing, unless we find something out with the carpet guy, are the people who were involved in this one.
Sure.
Yeah.
But there definitely is some crossover between casts with the Henry VIII group.
True.
Anyway, I think speaking to Peter is a good idea.
All right. Let's see.
Encyclopedic research.
Yeah, I don't know,
So
No.
his name was Peter.
Hetherington.
Hetherington.
90 Northwest.
Yep.
Hetherington.
Do you want to take this one as well, Herbie?
Yes, please. Peter Hetherington. Okay. 90 Northwest, you said. Okay. 90 Northwest. Northwest. Okay. This is a decent sized one. Peter Hetherington lets us in with a bow. He's a good-looking young man in his 20s, his black hair swept back on a smiling face. He wears a black and violet velvet jacket. Mr. Hetherington. Peter, please. Can I offer you tea or some coffee? Thank you, but no. We only have a few questions. We were given to believe that there was an altercation between William Razor and Nicola Sabellini. Hetherington's face darkens and his voice takes a lower tone, solemn. You're investigating William's death. He wasn't an easy man to get along with, but I will mourn him. About the other night. Yes, I took it on myself to try and bring my two friends closer. Apparently they weren't ready for that. Can you tell us what happened? There's not really much to say. They ignored each other for most of the evening, then they went to the veranda together. Blows and words were traded before they came back in the house, furious. However, my understanding was that they kept working together? Yes, there was a tension between them, but they acted like the great professionals that they were. If you want my opinion, I think those two appreciated the drama of their conflict. His eyes sparkled again. It was appealing in a way. Do you have any idea who could have killed Razor? I thought they had caught the young actor red-handed. Hetherington's voice shows growing surprise. Well, we don't think he's guilty, despite appearances. William was rather annoying, but to the point of killing him, I don't see who would do that. Thank you for hosting us. With pleasure. I hope to see you again soon. As he escorts us to the door, the young man's smile has something vicious to it.
Has something of a what?
Lavicious?
Vivacious? I haven't seen that word very often. Lascivious.
Lascivious.
There we
Thank
go.
you.
There we go. Not much there either, necessarily.
Well, I think we should visit Punch and Judy's to see if we can get some more clues about the events of the day.
That is reasonable.
I don't see it in here. Punch and Judy Pub. There we go.
Excellent.
73 West Central.
73 West Central. The Punch and Judy is a well-known meeting place for theater workers of the area. The owner joins us at our table in the back room. Yes, Sabellini came to eat yesterday. I spoke with him for a bit, after having given him his phone massage. His phone massage? I don't know. He had a country-style meat pie and 1 or 2 pints of that good stuff. What message? A message from the man who was shot, Razor. He asked me to tell Sabellini to drop by his dressing room before rehearsal the afternoon. How do you know it came from Razor? He told me so. Well, what time did he call at? I didn't pay attention to the exact time, but it must not have been far from 1:30 noon. And around what time did Sabellini leave? I don't know. It seems that most of the others from Drury Lane had already left, but I didn't really pay attention.
What time does Sabellini come back?
That's an excellent question. Sabellini does not come back before the police arrive on the scene.
When does the carpet come back?
The the carpet is delivered at 10:35.
Okay, that would be before this.
Yeah.
Okay. Where's Razor in all of this? William Razor arrives at 8 o'clock in the morning. Sabellini arrives at 8:35. There's a delivery from a group called Swear and Wells for R. Essex. Essex is the stage manager. We haven't spoken to him yet. At 10:35, the mysterious carpet arrives. At 11:20, Sabellini goes to lunch. And we're saying, like, in the neighborhood of 12:30, Razor calls the pub saying to give Sabellini a message to come see him. And then this happens at 12:45. With the bang and the scream.
So can we just put down a list of who is in the building
Sure.
at the time of the scream bangs?
Well, there's Sidney Chaplin, who is in jail. There is Clara Oldmixon, who's an actress. There's John Weber, an actor. There's Maria Leslie, another actress.
That was the one that Daniel Oliver was potentially seeing.
Yes. There's her husband, James Beeston. Yes. There's the other Chaplin brother, Charlie. And Wiggins. So definitely not there are Sabellini, this guy Stanley, or at least according to this.
Right.
I mean, again, this is people coming and going. And actually, I keep saying that, like, maybe he went through the back door, but the guy from the front says specifically, when there's no play, all doors are closed. Deliveries come through here. Everyone goes through this door. My job's coming and going through the journal.
It feels like one of those things where they've said something specifically to cut off
Yes.
certain things.
I think that speaking to any more of these folks at the theater might be a good idea. Certainly, we've learned a bit about them.
Do you think the Sabellini stuff is just red herring at this point?
I'm not sure if...
I guess Sabellini can have somebody else.
Yeah, like, I think that maybe he'd be willing to mean him harm, but he doesn't seem to be to have the strength of nerve or the physical capacity to have done it on his own.
No.
And I think that because he would have regarded himself as a likely prime suspect in this kind of a thing, he probably deliberately set it up such that if he is involved, he was probably like, well, I better stay at the pub so that people... so I have an alibi.
Yeah.
We've got SX, the stage manager.
Yep.
We've got the lady who ran in, right?
Yep, she's another witness. I think that might be a good one.
What's her name? Berain.
Beret. I would rather speak to... Yeah. Yeah, Krang.
Got a janitor.
A janitor, eh?
Todd Ryder, the janitor.
Actually,
I think speaking to the janitor or the stage manager.
I
would be
like
an
the
excellent
janitor.
idea.
He might have noticed that nail as well.
Yeah.
Or might know what caused it.
Brandon, would you like to read the entry for the janitor?
All right.
He's the second one right there.
His name was Todd.
Todd Ryder.
Todd
All
Ryder.
right. Oh, you're friends of Mr. Wiggins. I'll feel better for sure when all the pigs have left. They make me nervous for sure.
Is this like that amnesia game? More pig! More pig!
They're leaving mud everywhere with their big galoshes. I'm sure they'll leave soon. I have no doubt that you made a statement to the police, but I'd like to go everything in detail. Can you tell me what you saw yesterday morning, especially anything out of the ordinary? There wasn't anything special. As usual, I had cleaned the stage and the lodges from the previous evening. Everything was ready for rehearsal. I didn't have much to do, so I replaced the lamps in the main hall and was hunting down dust. During that time, Mr. Betancourt was sitting in the auditorium watching the rehearsal. Then I had tea with Brian in the middle of the morning. Then Sydney came to deliver the carpets, and I helped transport them to the trap room. I then cleaned up the large toilets on the ground floor. I put away my cleaning supplies in the closet and walked by Mr. Oliver on the phone. On the phone when I went to see Brian for lunch, right before he left. I don't see anything. There wasn't anything shady. When you said before he left, you mean Oliver? Yes, he was just behind me and he told Brian to have a good day. He was going back home. Do you remember the time? I'd say noon. That must be in Brian's journal. Did you see Mr. Razor? No. Were the doors and the windows still locked? Yes, the police wanted to go check that, and we went over all that with a policeman. It was tightly locked.
We look at the map.
Yes.
Trap room. Unfortunately, that's on a different floor than Razor's. Oh my god.
Oh, of course, because it's the
Trap room.
Well, I assume that it would have doors leading to the stage.
Yes.
So there is a stairway right here that would lead right next to Razor's room.
That is the case.
Toilet. I don't know.
What if he hid in the toilets and shot up through the line created by the bent nail on the floor into his eyeball? The perfect assassin.
That would be quite a job.
Did we have confirmation of Daniel O'Brien leaving, or Daniel
10:30.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Right.
Yep.
Yeah, well.
I mean, he could have still. No, because I was about to say, we know he died sometime in that window, but he had to have been alive for the wrestling, right?
That's what's so strange. Is like,
Feels like he did.
Yeah, it seems like he had to be alive for the wrestling.
but maybe he was already dying. No, I was. I mean,
already shot in the brain, just like.
Yeah, maybe we want to redo the autopsy to make sure it was an instant kill.
I think that's a worthwhile endeavor.
Because if he was my brain.
Well, no, the other guy said he was lying down and he had to come over and wake him up.
Yeah.
I wonder if what the boy saw as him jerking in surprise was jerking from the hit from the shot, and that last few seconds was him, his death throes.
Because he did actually get shot through the.
Where am I looking? Where's the Meeks?
Oh, Meeks would be a 38 EC.
We did see that cut watch chain in the back.
Oh yeah, maybe the shot cut the watch chain in half. But then...
No, they found the slug of the pistol with the watch, didn't they? Like it had stopped that?
No, the slug was in his eye. Or through his head.
No, was it?
Hang on.
Yeah, let's go back.
I've inexplicably turned to Edward Hall, which is where the report from...
That's 36 EC.
I know, but that is other information that we wanted.
Yes.
I don't know how I wound up here, but here I am.
Well, it's right next to Meeks.
We had lunch at Punch and Judy's. Sabellini called me over as we were leaving. He asked me to tell Razor he'd be a few minutes late, as he needed time to finish his meat pie, and that he wouldn't be long. We went back to the theater. Wiggins and Charlie went to see Betancourt, and I was supposed to rehearse a scene with Mr. Razor. I was a few minutes early, but I went straight to Razor's dressing room to give him Sabellini's message. Knocked on his door, no answer. I knocked again and opened the door. Mr. Razor was lying on the bed, back to me, sleeping. So he was on his side. I wanted to wake him. I shook him by the shoulder. I think I scared him. I saw that he had the pistol in his hand. Everything happened so quickly. He turned and the shot was fired. I tried to take the pistol away from him and he fell to the ground. That's all I know. Everything happened so fast.
Which, with a pistol in hand...
But did he have the fake, the blank? For
No.
some reason,
And where was Meeks?
Was he gonna fake
Meeks is 38, you see. You're right next to him.
Yes. Death by bullet. Only one bullet. Shot straight in the eye. Quick death. Bullet came from below, going upwards and lodged itself in the brain. Opium use. No signs of powder burn around the wound, so the pistol had to have been at least 3 feet away from the victim. And then where is... why can't I think of his name?
Criminologist?
Yeah.
Murray, 22 Southwest.
22 Southwest. Just recapping. There's a great amount of powder in the pistol. Okay, so the weapon found is Webley Mark I, rather common weapon. 5 bullets in an empty chamber. Extracts the bullets from the charger. Great amount of powder in the pistol. Notably found on the victim's shirt. No hole, however. Bullet, or more precisely, the lead extracted from the body. He wasn't shot with the Webley, but with an air pistol. Not practical, but silent.
Although it's also interesting, why was he in bed with a pistol in his hand anyway? That seems like a pretty interesting way to sleep.
Maybe, well...
And not,
Yeah,
the,
maybe he was-
not the gun that shot him, right?
Yeah, it wasn't the one that killed him.
The more I think about it, the more I think all this wrestling is after he's dead.
Well, I did say
They said he
quick
thought he
death.
scared him. So
That could easily be jerking from, like, got shot.
Alright.
That's true.
We know that, at least if we're given to believe this report, Razor sent Sabellini a message saying, hey, come meet me in my dressing room.
Yep.
He's probably waiting there with a gun, presumably with blanks, to threaten him or something like that over whatever it is that they're...
Alternately,
Yes?
whoever was planning to kill Razor wanted to invite over Savellini, knowing that if he walked into the room with him,
Yes.
so it'd be obvious that
Yeah,
he had
no one would ever
That's true, that's
doubted
true.
it.
Like, I don't think they were planning to frame
Yeah.
the chaplain.
Where's the...
Problem with that,
Oh, is that...
the gun's in his hand.
Yeah.
There's no guarantee that, it's very convenient.
Whoever walks in there would pick up the blank gun and fire
Right.
it.
Though even being just standing, even if you weren't holding the gun, though, if you were there when if you were the first person on the scene, that would make you suspicious.
Well, speaking to Berain, the costumer.
Jane Brain?
Yeah, with Jane Krang.
Jane
Shredder! Build me a new body!
ran over. There's a very interesting, like, tiny
Cubby
opening
hole.
right here,
Yeah.
which I keep looking at and I'm like,
It's a clue.
I was hoping it would show, like, the bed.
Yeah.
Or something so you could see, but...
What are the other
I mean,
choices?
there
Sorry.
could have just been somebody hiding in the room,
Yeah.
and then...
Yeah, there's a part of me that was like, this is wild thinking, but
Hit me.
if the person holding the gun wrestling with him is someone else using an elaborate stage makeup,
Possible.
and the actual body is like under the bed or something, and but there wouldn't have been time to do the switcheroo once the guy was there.
I didn't-
I know he says he does. It was all a blur, But that still seems like too much of a blur for a mystery man to run away.
Yeah, absolutely. One part of Sydney's story that really screws me up is I'm Razor. I'm sleeping on the bed on my side. Someone like grabs my shoulder to like wake me up. I roll over, surprise, and then somehow I'm up and standing in such a place that I can fall over onto the ground. But if I started like wrestling with someone from a lying down position, I wouldn't be able to get up.
Exactly.
I'm already lying down on the bed. Why wouldn't, if I just got shot, fall back down on the bed?
Yeah.
I'd like to speak to Krang to figure out what the scene looked like when she walked in.
Alright, and who was she?
Jean Berain.
Yep. Lobos, is that
Was
your
it me?
turn?
I think so, yeah.
Oh! What a horrible sight! The body of Mr. Razor.
My God, a talking
lying on the
brain.
ground.
And Sydney holding the pistol in his hand. I wasn't able to sleep last night.
Why did we hire you?
That image was carved in the
Go
night.
back to Dimension X.
Okay. Mr. Razor lying on the ground and Sydney holding the pistol. in
Every
his
costume
hand.
was just the robot body.
Little brain in the middle.
How do we wear this?
I wasn't able to sleep last night. That image was carved into my eyelids. Concentrate and breathe, says Watson. Why did you do? Says Watson with a learned tone. Study the scene and tell us exactly what you saw. I particularly remember Sidney's face. He seemed terribly shocked. And before hearing the shock, tell us everything you remember about yesterday. I arrived early yesterday morning. Despite the morning rehearsal not being a dress, there's little time left before the premiere and so much left to do. I also ran a few errands for Maria before the rehearsal, like getting her tea and lemon. She often asks for lemon for her throat, you see. During the rehearsal, I was working in the costume storeroom. After the morning rehearsal, Mr. Betancourt came to see me. I don't usually take a lunch, but we use the occasion to share tea and some biscuits. I heard footsteps in the corridor around 20 past noon. Surely Mr. Razor entering his dressing room, as he said he wasn't going for lunch. After all these years of working on emergencies and costume adjustments at the last minute, I glance at the clock at least every 10 minutes. I then heard footsteps again at 1:45. Then a minute or so later, the shot. I ran to the dressing room and saw the door to it was open, so I went in. Poor Sydney, the other members of the troupe came in right after me. Thank you, Jean. I'm sure your testimony will be useful to us. 20 past noon, there were footsteps. Surely Mr. Razor entering his dressing room. Surely. Then footsteps again at 1:45, then a minute or so later, which is probably, what's the name?
Yeah.
Ran to the dressing room, saw the door to it was open, went in. Yeah.
Alright. So, who was in the building during that time?
We made a list, right?
We made a list at the time of the scream. We didn't necessarily make one at 12:20 when we entered the room.
Yes.
That might be a different list of people.
Well, it's probably not that different, right?
There'll be a lot of overlap.
So Oliver departs. So the scream was at 45, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And the footsteps are at 20.
The footsteps are at 20. So in between 20 and 45, Oliver leaves. Essex arrives. Actually, a lot of people arrive. Old Mixon, Weber, Leslie, Beeston, Chaplin Brothers, and Wiggins. So.
Could we indulge in this mysterious assassin theory and speak to the people that delivered the carpet?
Sure, please.
Excellent. Sidley and
Sidley and
Sons is at 32 Southeast. Is this Herbie's?
Yeah.
Yeah, 32 Southeast?
Southeast,
Yes.
yeah.
Okay.
We just open the door and it's just a bunch of ninjas.
But
Whew.
the
They
texture,
turn into logs.
but all of their like ninja outfits are like carpet texture.
And then they disappear and leave behind sacks of potatoes.
Yeah.
Well, I guess this will remain unsolved
30
forever.
32 Southeast?
32 Southeast. You just open to that page and there's a smoke bomb.
If it's 32, there's nothing here.
What?
Huh. Yeah, I had that written down too. Well, so much for the carpet theory.
Poppycock.
What was the other delivery?
We got there, and there actually was a smoke bomb.
There was a telegram, right? For...
There was a telegram. There was a telegram for Oliver.
Oh.
I think it was for Oliver. We could stop by the telegram depot. We might learn something about this communication to Vernon.
Yeah.
What is Swear and Wells, by the way?
I'm sorry?
What is Swear and Wells, like in the shops category?
Ah, that's right. There was another thing.
Yeah.
Let's see. I've got to reverse look this up, so it's going to take a moment.
It will take a little bit.
Don't worry, though. I'm really good at this. Swear. I mean, we could just go there. Find out what they are when we get there.
Possibly, yeah. I'd be up for that. It'd probably be quicker than scanning all of the shop
It is
entries.
not a jeweler.
Wait, what is Swearing Wells?
It's where a delivery came
That's
from.
exactly what we're trying to figure out. What is it? And is it full of ninjas?
Hey, maybe you could Google it.
I could. There's 3 different carpet delivery services.
like to-
Tragically, Swearing Wells is not a separate carpet delivery place. Getting there. It's not an embassy. It's not a government office. Nor is it a furrier. Nor is it a florist.
Furrier? Does that really sell polos?
No, that's horrible. No one's gonna skin my dog.
Oh, no.
Oh, I heard recently that PETA, the people for the ethical treatment of animals, were idiots.
That's shocking.
I mean,
They protested a fursuit convention because they thought that it was for people that wear fur coats.
That's amazing.
It's so good.
PETA, strangely enough, has not been on the internet since 1996.
Oh man, that's such a smart move, though.
Oh, boy. Well, all I can think of when I think of PETA is the radio station back home that always had a cookout and grill on the pier outside their main headquarters in Virginia.
Interesting. Apparently, one of their people tried to troll me during the animal talk that I gave at Nerd Night about like domestication.
Oh,
I didn't even realize it until after the fact.
That would definitely be something they would troll about.
Have you looked up? I guess I need to
Swearing.
use this other one.
Yeah.
So, what am I even looking for
Swearing
again?
Wells.
Swearingen.
Swearing Wells.
San Francisco cocksucker. That's from Swearingen.
Well, that is.
Have you ever read the Dwarf Fortress history that's all from the perspective of Al Swearingen, as if he came in? Like, it's one of those games that gets passed around from different people to different people.
Oh.
And someone just decided that their persona, once they got in charge of this horrible place where elephants kept murdering things and things were flooded with lava, that he was just going to be Al Swearingen. Oh, it's the best. It's the best way to experience Dwarf Fortress. Swearing Wells, whatever it is 65 Northwest.
Okay. 65 Northwest for the mysterious Swear and Wells.
Yes.
Okay.
2 cat.
Let's see. 65 Northwest. We're a company for theater materials, Mr. Watson. We provide costumes, accessories, and all other sorts of materials. Mr. Oliver has been one of our clients for many years, and we continue to work with him despite being aware of his money problems. Wow, wow.
Okay, would you like to instead visit the telegraph office?
Sure, where are they at?
37 EC.
Okay,
I was thinking-
37.
Wait, telegraph or telegram? Do we have both of those going on?
Those are the same thing.
Okay, good.
The telegraph is a thing that sends a telegram.
Right.
Telegraph
I was
office.
thinking about
Yes.
the nail in the side of the bed. They
Yeah.
said it had powder on it. It might have been like
Oh, I missed
to
that.
hold his pipe because it said he was smoking opium or whatever.
Mm.
Wait, do you have
Maybe.
an opium powder or gum powder?
I don't know. They said
Powder. Yeah.
Powder.
No, you're right. That's both of these things.
Would someone here in town, maybe Porky, maybe Hog, be able to tell us more about opium?
Opium.
They listed an Indian, like the source of his opium.
Here we go.
I don't know
Wasn't
if
it
that
just India?
No, it had a name after that.
Oh, okay.
Great. Here we go. Yes, sir. We keep copies of all telegrams. The young man behind the counter doesn't look up from the stack of papers he's sorting. I was wondering if you could check to see if you have a copy of the telegram that was sent to me yesterday. The doorman misplaced it. To the general surprise, Watson places a crown on the counter. The man's eyes finally rise to stop on the silver coin. What name and address? Asked the employee while slipping the coin into his pocket. Daniel Oliver, Drury Lane Theatre, says Watson. The young man goes to a row of suspended folders in the back wall, takes one, and starts to examine the papers within. He finally pulls out a sheet which he hands to Watson. I can't give you this copy, but I can show it to you. That'll be fine. The telegram is sent by William Japes, 39 Aldergate Street, London, EC. He says, Sylvester is giving you until the 5th. Have the money or everything is lost. William.
Is that where we just went? 39? No.
No, we have not been to 39.
Well, 39 EC has got to be our next destination, right?
Okay.
Well. Yeah. I'm gonna fight a ninja.
They said that the person's name was Japes.
Japes?
Japes.
Japes.
Are there going to be Japes?
Ninjapes.
Perhaps capers?
Gah! Oh, I got hit in the face with all this content. 39 ECs?
Yeah, it's almost the same page.
Yeah, no wonder. I should have just let you read it.
Yeah, especially since I glanced at it long enough to know it wasn't going to take very long. There we go.
My apologies.
No worries. Yes, I'm Daniel Oliver's lawyer. How may I help you, sir? We're investigating the murder of William Razor. Could you give us some information on the affairs of Mr. Oliver? Out of the question. If you have questions of that nature, you'd better ask them of Mr. Oliver himself. Good day.
Nice.
Okay.
Japes.
Well,
Yeah, we've just been Japed.
we have.
Alright, this most devious puzzle.
Do we want to look more into the opium? I at least look up the name again. What was it?
Yeah, absolutely.
It was, I think that was the criminologist, right? I think had information on the opium. Murray, right?
Yeah, I thought Meeks said Meeks was the one who found medical evidence that he had used opium.
Well, I think as far as the source of the opium.
Oh, okay. That might have been Meeks.
22 Southwest.
Yeah.
Patna from India.
Patna. Oh.
Well.
I think that's just probably the type of opium or something. Did we check the security tapes yet?
We cast Speak with Dead to speak with potatoes. Okay. What do we know?
Can we open the map again?
Thank you.
Yes, you have to steal it from Herbie, though.
Alright. Let me just...
Okay. There we go.
So Oliver owes a bunch of money. Is there some sort of a scenario where he would stand to get his money back or get a bunch of money if this guy suddenly died?
he's the one that was
But I
like,
don't
the
think
show
that
must go on,
existed.
right?
Yeah, he was.
Okay. And he didn't seem too shook by it. So he was saying that Wiggins has to take the role.
Yeah.
Right? So he wants
Sylvester. Sorry.
the show to go on.
Who's Sylvester?
Sylvester.
It's the one mentioned in the telegram. Sylvester is giving you until the 5th.
Yeah.
Have the money or all is lost.
Oh.
But who was Sylvester?
I mean, we
There-
still haven't talked to Maria.
There's a
Leslie.
Sylvester Bank.
Ah.
You want to pay it a visit?
Oh, I see.
Yeah, that might be.
84 EC.
40C.
Banks. This is exciting. We wait a few minutes before being led to the office of the president of the Sylvester. Thank you for meeting us, Mr. Long, says Watson while shaking the hand of the graying and portly gentleman. For helping Mr. Holmes in this investigation, I'll be glad to give you my assistance. We're investigating the murder of William Razor. We have been led to believe that Daniel Oliver has been in business with your bank. The president is quiet for a few moments. He pinches the bridge of his nose and passes his hand through his hair. I need to respect the privacy of our clients, as assured by professional confidentiality. However, as it's a murder, I can tell you that Mr. Oliver is indeed having financial difficulties. I'm afraid I can't give you any more details.
We should talk to Maria Leslie.
Okay.
That's it.
Can I read that one as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Those have both been weak tea.
No.
I don't know.
I'll go for it.
Yeah, here I go.
Follow history.
We return to the theater. We've seen the photo of Irene Adler many times, and to our eyes, the beauty of Maria Leslie renders justice to that of the woman, the subject of the Scandal in Bohemia case, a real live Sherlock Holmes case. The only person to ever put one over on Sherlock Holmes and get away. It's a good story. I don't know what to tell you, says Miss Leslie. Until yesterday, I had only ever seen murders on stage. Did you know Mr. Razor well? Asks Watson. Not really. It's the first time that I've worked with him. He's a very irritable person. Looks like he lives only for the theater. To your knowledge, did Sidney Chaplin have a reason to kill him? No. I can't believe that Sidney could have done such a thing. He's such a nice boy. I've already worked many times with Sidney and Charlie. Sidney couldn't have done that. Then who do you think? I have no idea.
Go ahead.
Can you give us your schedule for yesterday morning before the body was found? Did you notice anything unusual? James and I arrived at the theater shortly after 8. As you know, we rehearsed the play in full before lunch. Right after the rehearsal, James and I went for lunch. We met up with a friend at Simpson's and came back before the afternoon rehearsal. We were on stage when we heard the shot. To be honest, I didn't notice anything extraordinary. Have you discovered some new carpet mechanism invented?
I thought I had. It occurred to me that Razor might have had a home.
Oh no, I looked at that first, but he's from America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he'd been in London a while. I mean, he'd been doing that play for 8 months.
That's fair. Maybe, is there an American embassy that we could speak to?
Possibly, but I don't know. I liked visiting his home as an idea. I don't know if...
Well, they could tell us where he's been staying,
maybe.
which would presumably be full of whatever
Stuff he had.
stuff he has, yes.
Okay.
Embassies, American Embassy. Do you care to visit the American Embassy?
I can give it a shot.
Cool.
Let me take a picture of this real quick.
Yeah.
We're on lead 17, by the way.
Yeah, like I feel like we've wandered down a lot of rabbit holes. We're not like I don't know if we're.
Well, we haven't followed up firmly on the opium yet. Maybe finding where he was would be a worthwhile lead.
Yeah, maybe.
The American Embassy is at 18 Southwest. Like, I feel like we've done due diligence on a lot of these things.
Yeah,
it's just none of them
yeah.
struck, you know?
Yeah, it's tiny. We're quickly shown out of the embassy.
Your dad's tiny.
Hey, listen, the death of Mr. Razor is truly tragic, but we're not about to make it a national drama.
But
So I almost wouldn't count that.
I've completely crossed it out.
Because it didn't give us what we were even looking for.
No. We had a logical reason to be there, but it did not
Yeah.
provide.
I never talked to Richard Essex, the stage manager.
He was the one who received the delivery.
oh, yeah, no, we spoke to the janitor instead. Let's speak to Mr. Essex.
Okay.
Let's beat that janitor's ass next time we see him.
Actually, maybe Porky would know something about it.
Yeah.
But
Now we're
do you want to
talking.
do that, or do you want to do Essex?
Essex, maybe.
Porky.
Okay.
Lois, where's Porky we
Or
found?
sex. What?
That's me.
That's... Porky is at 52 EC.
Thank you.
52.
52.
Cheers, guys! Are you here for business or for pleasure? It's always a pleasure to come here, Porky, but right now we're working on the murder of William Razor. The police have arrested one of our friends, and we're sure he's innocent. We're quite lucky, Watson. Porky laughs. Many of my friends have been arrested before, but I've rarely been convinced of their innocence. Have you heard about the murder? Sorry, my patrons don't really go to the theater. At times there are a few artists who come by here full of romantic ideas about slums and poverty. They sometimes even end up in even poorer neighborhoods, in opium dens and other such places. Are there specific places? Well, there's always the Bar of Gold, of course, but that's not a place for occasional patrons. A few of my clients frequent a den in the southeast run by a Chinese man called Hong or Kong or something like that, in fact. That's in a previous newspaper. In fact, I've even heard that an actor, what's his name, Ralph Finley, goes there sometimes. Sorry, I don't have anything more, guys.
That's plenty, Porky. Thanks.
Oh yeah, the Mongol curse, the war of the London opium dens, is still on the rise. Until recently, the general tendency had been to consider the actions of the Mongols as an enormous farce, but this is no longer the case. The looting started with the opium dens, but then spread to many shops last week, leading to a great outcry, causing people to realize that this diabolical opium had a hold in the spread much greater than previously imagined. The most shocking was the one led against the shop at Shoreditch High Street, behind the Liverpool train station. We have learned that the dens are not only frequented by the poor, but also by women and by many actors. It is necessary to form a crusade to root out this evil. These three places are accused of perverting young women. The focus of these recent outrages is creating involuntary publicity to Alan S. Williams' next book. Mr. Williams is a journalist from the Pall Mall Gazette team. His work is titled The Demon from the Orient and His Compatriots in Opium Dens, The Opium Smokers, From English Paradise to the Hells of Tartarus.
I think we've identified our next stop.
So they said that he didn't visit
Go,
the
yeah.
dens, though.
But we do know Ralph did, though.
Oh, yeah,
which might
Ralph.
be some
Okay.
note.
97.
And notably, Ralph wasn't at the theater to question either.
Now, Ralph is the
Original love triangle.
oldest child actor in the world.
This is
That's supposed to
97.
make it better.
It means he just plays children.
Is there a 95 or 96? Yeah, I think that's probably what it is.
Nothing above 86.
Oh.
Did we...
What was the name of the street? On the newspaper?
Here, right?
Oh, the newspaper in here, and that was... Shoreditch High Street, behind
79?
the Liverpool train station.
I don't think there was a 79. EC, right?
Yes, EC.
A 79.
Blast.
Oh, but it does give us the name of the fellow, Happy Kong.
He's the owner of the...
This says it's an illustration representing the opium dens of
He's
London.
the first member of the HK crew.
Oh, gosh. He lives at 48 Southeast.
48 Southeast.
There we go.
Yes, Robert Spaghetti, we do look at chat. At all.
The alleyway leading us to the door of Hop Yi Kong is narrow, dirty, and dark, but a kerosene lamp wrapped in scarlet paper shows us our destination. On the door are painted two Chinese characters in red around a small grilled window. Watson knocks on the door with the tip of his cane. The window opens and a high-pitched voice calls to us. "What do you want?" "Ralph Finley gave us your address," answers Watson. The door opens.
Well, Watson's an accomplished liar.
There you go.
He's had us fooled that he's a doctor for years.
The door opens onto a dimly lit corridor. A small man leads us to a door which he opens, inviting us to enter. The room is so filled with smoke that it's difficult to see in it. Against the walls are packed, roughly made cots. There are men smoking in most of the cots, and some are still deeply asleep.
Cots. Okay.
Cots.
Thank you.
An opium den, says Watson
Nice.
with a reproving tone. 2 shillings the pipe, says the little man, a Chinese man wearing puffy trousers and a yellowed shirt, which must have once been white. He has long hair tied in a braid, and his left cheek is crossed by a scar. He holds out his hand and repeats, 2 shillings a pipe! Watson pulls a crown from his pocket. We don't want a pipe, but information. What do you want? Asks the Chinese man, his hand still outstretched.
I'm looking for the man who killed my father.
Does Finley come here often? 1 time, 2 each week. He's a company? He always has 2 ne'er-do-wells with him. Who else? The Chinese man brings his hand closer to Watson, who drops in it the coin, which quickly ends up in the man's trouser pocket. He comes with that American actor William Razor. Are you sure? He's always boasting, I'm sure.
Aha!
So
He OD'd. Game over.
I feel like this is a crucial piece of a puzzle that we don't have all the pieces of.
Yes, but I'm glad that we followed it up.
Well, yeah.
We've not managed to speak with Finley yet, right? He's not at the theater?
might be at his home. If he has a home.
Yes.
Yeah, he wasn't. I don't think he was at the theater.
What kind of a home would a child have? A small one, that's
Smaller.
why. I have an address for him if you'd like to
Doghouse.
hit him up.
Oh, sure.
Be careful, he's very handsome, or so I hear, and he lives at 96, nice, West Central, nice.
96 West Central.
I know it's just like old-timey racism when they talk about the demon of the Orient.
Yes, it absolutely
all I
is.
can picture is like the smoke just parts in like the opium den, and Aku is just there with that low humming, and there's that low humming noise behind it.
Oh, man.
I will confess I skipped a couple of lines of that.
Yeah,
particular-
Alright, which one is most likely to vape? Aku or Mojo Jojo?
Oh, Mojo Jojo's the most
100%.
The most elaborate vape
Yes,
rig.
the biggest clouds.
Alright. 96 WC.
Yes.
Watson knocks on the door to Ralph Finley's apartment for the 3rd time. The door finally opens. A young boy of about 16 years of age is standing in the doorway, staring defiantly at us. "Is Ralph Finley there?" asks Watson. "Who was asking?" says the boy. Watson hands him his card. He takes it, holds it upside down, examines it with squinted eyes, then finally allows us to enter the room. "Wait here." All the room's windows are covered with heavy curtains, hiding the light from the sun. Only a group of candles standing on a large oaken table in the middle of the room illuminate us. Watson brings our attention to a strong and acid-like smell, easily recognizable. Opium, he says. Near the candles, we can see a few pipes. The floor is littered with pillows and low tables. Oriental paintings, most of them erotic, are hanging here and there on the walls.
Nice.
Hentai.
The entire room has an Asian look to it. "Did Kong send you?" We turn around and see a young man wearing a brocaded blue silk bathrobe ornamented by a red dragon.
Ah, a weeaboo.
Coming closer, we realize that he's actually older than he looks at first. I told Kong that I'd take care of it. "I don't know about any Kong. I'm here about William Razor," Watson interrupts him. "Willie? What's happened to him?" "I'm afraid he's dead." "Dead? But how?" "Murdered. He was shot." "Who did that? Was it Nicola? Don't tell me it was Nicola." "Sabolina? No. Well, Sabolini, rather. No, we don't think he's implicated. Why are you asking us that?" "What a relief. He's so nice. It was stupid of me to think he could have done something." "Why do you suspect him?" "Suspect him? No. That dear Nicola is hot-blooded like all Latin people, but he wouldn't hurt a fly. Finley wears
Old-timey racism.
Finley wears a thick layer of makeup, but it isn't enough to hide the pockets under his eyes and his tiredness. He wields words, not weapons. They argued horribly before Willie left the show. It was frightening to see those two admirable gentlemen quarrel about me. Do the police know who killed that brave Willie? They've arrested a young actor, Sidney Chaplin. We believe they've got the wrong culprit. Maybe we could get settled more comfortably to discuss this, says Finley with a certain sort of smile. Do you know who could have wanted to kill Mr. Razor? Few people liked Willie much. He didn't care about other people's feelings, but I can't think of anyone who would have wanted to harm him that badly. He had his good sides. You know, Dr. Watson, I also have my good sides. Would you be interested in discovering them?
Oh.
Thank you for your time, Mr. Finley. If we have other questions, we'll let you know. I'll wait for news from you.
I feel like that told us information we already knew.
Well,
But do you think that clears Sabolini, based on what he said?
Well, for a guy who's said to be a guy of words, he threw some good punches at that party, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said
Yeah.
words not what. Well,
But
I guess
the kind of punches that both of them walked back into the room.
Yeah.
It's like,
And then went back to work the next day.
yeah.
Well, they had black eyes, according to one report.
That's
Yeah,
not really.
still not- still-
Given the other stuff that we've seen in the
Yeah.
police blotter, it's not so
They wouldn't
bad.
even have gotten like an hour in jail for that.
Or 12 days.
Yeah.
Or a year. Or a medal.
Good at potion.
Okay.
So, like,
Oh, but yeah, right. But we were saying that stop bullying. You could have hired somebody. And that still holds, right?
Yeah.
Because it's easy to just go, yes, kill somebody, and then.
That's how I do it.
but it doesn't explain all this. Like, yeah, like the opium angle didn't really seem to get us much, other than, hey, he does opium, and also goes there with this guy that apparently he used to go there with.
Maybe he's got a much bigger problem than he let on, I guess.
Yes. Like, I could see how that could get him into like financial trouble, I guess.
Sure, yeah. Alright, well, who haven't we spoken to yet? Have we spoken to Weber? Who's Weber?
We have not spoken to Weber. We've not spoken to Old Mixon, I don't think.
Okay.
Did we speak to Essex? I think we...
I think we keep
didn't-
skipping
Yeah,
over
we keep
him.
skipping
Wait, we
Essex.
didn't talk to Essex again?
Oh, we went to Porky's.
Yeah.
That's right.
Which led us to
So
Then we
yeah,
went to
we've
opium.
got
Yep.
a large number of possibilities, any of which would be yours to
Let's
read.
speak to Essex. We keep meeting to.
Please.
Okay, Richard Ed.
Yes, I did it. I killed him.
Holmes solved this case in 2 leads. What
Oh,
Like a
gosh.
gun. Just-
Richard Essex is a young man who looks rather short, slim, with hazelnut eyes, throwing large, worried glances behind thick glasses. Despite his young age, the 5 years he's spent on various theater stages of the West End have allowed him to get a good reputation. I don't know what I could tell you that you don't already know. I arrived early and took advantage of that to talk about the stage and lighting with Larry. Larry is
The cable
Lawrence.
Lawrence.
guy.
I don't know who that is.
Lawrence
Lawrence?
Beckwith?
Lawrence Beckwith.
Yeah.
Yes.
The theorized other member of the new love triangle that turned out not
Yes.
to be a thing.
It sounds like the old one's ongoing.
During the morning rehearsal, I divided my time between the stage and reception. I had to manage some deliveries, and I missed part of a rehearsal. I went out for lunch as soon as the rehearsal was done. I knew that I had a long afternoon ahead of me. I came back around noon. A few minutes later, the members of the troupe started arriving. Graham was still writing. Graham is... Graham is Betancourt, who we also haven't spoken to yet.
Yeah.
Who is he?
And he's the
The
director.
director, not
Yes.
the producer. Okay.
And we hadn't started the afternoon rehearsal yet when we heard that shot. I think I was the first one to get to the dressing room, right after Jean Borain, of course. Young Chaplin was there, pistol in hand, and Razor was lying on the ground. An involuntary shiver courses through the young man's body. You don't remember anything else out of the ordinary? No, I haven't thought of much else these past few hours. I tried to remember everything that happened since I got there. Oliver had just gone out. I came in and spoke with Brian for a minute, and we went straight to the stage. I wonder what Oliver will decide about the play.
We could tell you that. The show must go on.
Yes.
Well, we could still talk to Betancourt. That's probably a...
That's true. Here's another thing that we could do. I don't know if it'll lead to anything, but we'll see. We could investigate people that could have sold this air pistol or the other gun.
There wasn't a model name, right? But I guess you just want to
Well,
try and hunt it down.
the
Yeah.
newspaper today didn't seem related. And still doesn't really.
But
Improved self-propelling and self-adjustable wheelchairs and other invalid goods. Reclining chairs, bath chairs, carrying chairs, adjustable couches, backrest, leg rest, headrest, commodes, bed trays, bedside tables, reading stands, etc. in many different styles, meeting every demand for necessity and luxury. Comfort for all. Gregory & Co. patentees and manufacturers, 79 Oxford Street, Northwest.
Yes.
Bed tables.
I mean, there's also 6 gunsmith companies.
Well, okay. Do we think that somebody was under the bed and shot up?
Maybe.
But if they
Like
were
hiding under the bed, then they wouldn't have been able to escape, right?
they could have shot from the toilet below, perhaps.
They could have.
Unless they escaped before.
How do you hit somebody through the eye?
Yeah, that's the elaborate part. It makes
Through
Yeah.
a bed, through a
Can we go
floor.
back and look at the description of the room again?
Certainly. It's right there, right?
Yeah.
No extraneous decoration, simply a small table covered with makeup, 2 wooden chairs, and a small camp bed. He examines the bed, lifts the cover, then the pocket watch chain falls off. We should probably look into that, I guess. There's the nail sticking out of the base of the bed. Yep. The traces of the wood are recent. It was nailed in a day or 2 ago.
Okay.
What was it used for? It's a twisted nail. And then he observed a mark on the wall just above the nail. It looks like powder, no hole, no bullet, which is why I was thinking maybe he hangs an opium pipe there. or
Test
something.
shot of the air gun.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe the air gun was some sort of. Maybe there was no one in the room.
I thought the air gun was just a silenced weapon.
What
It
if
actually
they-
shot.
what if
True,
the
you
air
should
gun
shoot a.
It was like rigged up to
was
automatically
rigged?
fire.
Yeah.
But then why didn't we find it?
Why didn't we find the
Yeah,
air
they
gun?
shouldn't have been able to get that out of the room that quickly. Because there was someone right
Unless-
there.
Unless the air gun looked like opium pipe.
It's hard to imagine with technology level of that era.
Yeah. No.
So I like the theory of he had a blank gun to the gun with blanks to threaten Sabolini, invited him to come over, right?
Right.
And then somebody else showed up. But it's the question of
Well, also that
who was there to shoot him.
didn't that gun have like legit bullets in it, and then it was
Yeah, you
Fine.
said that there were real bullets inside of it.
One blank, maybe.
No, well,
No.
maybe it had a blank
Yeah,
in
an
it,
empty.
yes,
It had empty.
but-
with a lot of
Oh,
powder.
the one that. Oh,
Yeah, I don't know what the implication of a lot of powder is. Like, what would that
maybe
do?
well, maybe that is the blank round. It's like all powder, no.
Oh, maybe,
Yeah.
yeah.
We know a blank round was fired
Yeah,
because we have this.
the cotton stopper.
Because no bullets were fired out of that gun in that room,
Right.
unless they were, It seems really dangerous to,
Okay, there's 2 watchmakers. Do we want to just, like, punch at those and see if we get somewhere?
There's a specific watchmaker in the newspapers.
Oh, really?
Yes, here we are. Waltham Watches.
Hmm.
It is at 40 Northwest.
It's interesting. It's not one of the ones listed here.
That makes it extra exciting.
Let's take a look. Brandon, I think it's your turn.
40 Northwest.
Yeah.
Waltham Watches.
It does not appear to be in here.
Oh.
Try 38 Northwest.
Also, does not appear to be in here.
Try 16 EC.
16 EC.
Yeah.
Also not in here.
Well, butts. All right. Well, I feel safe
Indeed.
signing off on the pocket watch mystery.
Yes.
So, what's up with that nail? That nail.
And alongside of the bed with mark of powder right above it. It seemed like Watson knew from that that there was a blank somewhere.
Right.
Because he goes, there it is, and then it's like, so why? But why would there be? Why would that be such an immediate jump?
What?
Can we ask Watson?
We'd ask
We
Sherlock.
could talk to. I don't think we've talked to a Sherlock like once, but it's
Well, here's the
Just give
thing.
us-
Usually he's just there to let you know things that maybe you're supposed to figure out early.
Yeah.
I feel like we've learned a lot of things, but not like put together like the first part of the pieces yet.
Yeah.
Maybe, well, then again, we know for a fact he's left 22-1 B. Baker Street, so there's no guarantee that he's going to be there. But
I think it told us where he went, though.
that's true. Where did he go?
Let's see. Let's see.
Yeah, 21.
Much closer to the end, I think.
Yeah. The denouement. Yeah, I didn't mention a specific.
Denouement.
Denouement, whatever.
No, there's no such word as denouement.
Well, regardless, unless that's a specific location you identify.
May I?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could have sworn he said he was going somewhere in particular.
Somebody involved with the Cavendish Club. Like you read that.
Yeah, I remember
But I
that.
don't remember what that was.
Wasn't that the other director who owns a club?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Probably not.
I'll ask Mr. Hall to contact your brother in Newgate in order to be freed. That's probably what it was. Let's try hitting him up just to see what we get, huh?
It's 42 Northwest.
I think so, yes.
42.
Is it Lois's turn?
It's-
Yeah, I
No, you didn't actually land on anything.
Oh, you're right, I didn't. So I'm going back to home.
Yeah, 42 Northwest, I believe.
Well,
Which could be good for a laugh, if nothing else.
Holmes and Wiggins have come back to take tea, apparently in little hurry to conclude the investigation. Amused by our interests on stage, Holmes interrogates Wiggins in front of us with a slightly forced, almost theatrical tone. We must recognize that your presence in the theater gives us a unique opportunity to get first-hand information on these events. What can you tell us? Holmes sips his tea and waits, just like us, for the answer. I've been a part of the troupe for three weeks. Wiggins seems ill at ease in the role of witness. It's an interesting play, but I'm not sure that you would much care for the portrayal that Razor was making of you. Not really, now that he's dead. The only thing I've been able to notice is that while it was difficult to get along with Razor, only Savellini seemed to really hate him. Razor and Oliver would argue from time to time, but between a star and a director, that's not unusual. There's no reason for Chaplin to have killed him. I'm convinced of Chaplin's innocence. We must carefully examine all of the clues while remembering that things aren't always as they seem. We must start from the exact moment when Razor was killed and go back from that point. He died when the shot was fired. I heard it myself. Ah, Wiggins, you always surprise me. As the theater is the place for all fantastic creations, we must separate the illusion from reality. When we have succeeded, we'll find the solution to this mystery. So that seems to back up the idea that he was probably not killed when the shot was fired.
Right.
Yeah.
What if he was shot and then he laid down?
With a bullet in his brain, though?
Maybe. I mean,
It was supposed to be a quick death, according to our coroner.
that's true. It was a quick death.
Oh, I think that it's not. No.
What?
I was trying to think if it is like I keep going back to that wrestling moment, and like at no point does he actually necessarily say that he stood up.
Yeah.
I think it's possible that he struggled with them awkwardly. The blank was fired and he flumped over on the ground. That he was dead that entire time.
Mm-hmm.
At least there's nothing that concretely says that he wasn't dead that entire Russell moment.
Sure.
I do think it's still how did they know that he would fire there's no guarantee he would fire that blank though.
No, maybe that was just luck.
Yeah,
I don't know.
and the whole purpose of it seems odd that there's the one blank round in a loaded gun.
Mhm.
I mean, granted, because I guess I'm assuming that Murray would have indicated if the other bullets were blanks.
I would have thought so as well.
We know that the bullet wasn't from that gun. While your gun's silent, etc.
Well, I guess by the timeline, what's her name? The lady heard footsteps at 12:20,
Right.
and that she assumed that was Razor going to his place.
Yes.
And then the other footsteps were of Sydney checking on him because he walked, and then a minute later
The gunshot.
was the gunshot.
I thought so, yeah.
Okay. And then she ran over. So either somebody that was there to murder him was already in the room, or maybe didn't even shoot from the room like that. I don't know.
We know it was more than 3 feet away. It was some sort of like air pressure weapon.
Shall we finish interviewing these folks at the theater?
Okay. There's a secretary?
Well, there was a Francis Stanley as a secretary.
And Clara Oldmixon and James Beeston.
Bees.
Francis Stanley. If you're here to see Mr. Oliver, he's not here right now. He left a note saying that he'd be at home if needed. A man hunched over his desk tells us. Actually, we came to see you. The man looks up and seems to be happy to get away from the paperwork cluttering his desk. What a day! I couldn't imagine that the death of a man would cause me to fill out so much insurance paperwork. As you certainly must know, we're participating in the investigation of Mr. Razor's murder. We were hoping you could tell us what you remember about yesterday's events, specifically everything that seemed odd to you. Of course, I'll tell you everything I know. I got here early as I knew the day would be packed. I had correspondence to write, as well as financial reports about production costs to prepare for Mr. Oliver. He arrived a bit after 10. Telegram arrived a short time later. I had the impression that the telegram got him in a bad mood. What makes you say that? I had a question to ask him, and he was drinking. Don't recall ever seeing him with a glass of alcohol in the morning. Maybe there's no link, but that troubled me. What else? Nothing special. In late morning, Mr. Oliver told me to go to have lunch. I came back after the unfortunate event.
There are, in fact, 5 insurance companies in the directory.
Well,
So I could have believed insurance exists. I admit I'm surprised insurance for a play production exists. I guess what I'm...
Well, for a significant asset
Yeah.
to the production, the lead actor, this particular American who's storied in London, has been brought over specifically for this new play. A play that he needs to succeed because there's other competing Sherlock Holmes plays coming up.
It was even sort of said, I'm surprised he would work with him again. Well, if he
Yeah.
planned to murder him for
Yeah.
money,
Yeah.
that would be
Okay.
the perfect person.
All right, so let's work with the idea that Oliver is ultimately the culprit. Did he do it, or did he have someone else do
He
it?
arrives at like 12:30. No, there's that Essex.
He leaves at 12:30.
Does he leave at 12:30?
Essex arrives at 12:30.
Right, yeah, he does. He leaves at 12:30. Essex arrives at 12:30.
Okay.
so that would line up with him killing him at the 12:20.
Oh,
But that can't work. He can set up the death at 12:20. It couldn't have happened at 12:20. He couldn't have struggled 25 minutes later if the coroner said it's a
I
quick
don't think
death.
he actually. I think that was all just the confusion of Sydney. I don't think he was actually alive.
No, the coroner said that it was a quick death, though.
Right.
He's saying that the whole struggle was just Sydney being overwrought.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
I see.
and like, oh no, it's a body. I'm falling over. And he
Yes,
assumed it
I
was
see.
alive
Okay, okay.
when he wasn't.
I guess the only thing about that is that he's. I don't know. He said that he scared him, but I don't know.
I feel like it would take a lot of imagination for an inert body to become a flailing body if you were gently shaking the shoulder.
I shook him by the shoulder. I think I scared him. I saw he had the pistol in his hand. Everything happened so quickly. He turned, and the shot was fired. I tried to take the pistol away from him, and he fell to the ground.
He turned and the shot was fired. Maybe the gun was rigged up to go, like, whoever came in and killed him set it up so that when someone came and touched his body, he would fall over and the gun was fired, perhaps due to something like a bent nail causing the triggering mechanism to pull off, because it was tied to a watch chain that was tied to the nail, so that when he falls over, it pulls the trigger on the gun and fires the blank.
How'd they
All
get the pistol
That's
into
not
his
bad.
hand, though?
They killed him and put a gun in his hand.
He's
To rig the whole thing. Okay, I can buy it.
I guess to make it look like a suicide?
Yeah.
Probably was the well,
Or to frame
someone's-
whoever the next person that came in was.
which they sent as a
Or
telegram
maybe-
was
And
sent.
to the guy.
Sabolini,
The
maybe
guy who had
Oliver
the
sent
obvious this
Obvious.
guy would kill him guy.
Yeah.
Because it didn't have to be Razor who
yeah.
sent it. Okay, but I still want to know at least which insurance company was involved.
That's fair. We've hit enough leads. Like,
Yeah,
we-
do
we're-
you just want to look at all 5 of them?
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
Was there any way we could link it?
Yeah, if anyone, I think the secretary or the
Yeah.
banker would have been the one, but
Yeah.
everyone's pretty
So-
close-mouthed about
And-
these
and
things.
ask-
Well, the secretary at least mentioned the insurance angle. I'll give him credit for that much, because that immediately puts it on Oliver, who
All right, well, here, it's not the shipping company. Let's try the London Globe, why don't we? Whose turn was it?
I just wrote it.
Yeah.
Okay.
London Globe.
Well, good. Hopefully this will round out perfectly.
Yep, London Globe. Where are we going?
79 Southwest.
79 Southwest. Southwest. 79 Southwest is... Oh, yes. The employee of the London and Globe Company answers us happily. Yes, our company specializes in art, notably for plays, but we've never dealt with Daniel Oliver. I must admit that in the current situation, that's a good thing for us. The only other company I can think of that might have worked with Oliver is the Provident.
68 EC.
68 EC. Hello. 68 EC. One of the many employees of this large company confirms that they do have an insurance policy for Daniel Oliver's latest production. When Watson starts to interrogate the employee, the man disappears into an office. After a few moments, he comes back to fetch us and takes us into said office. I'm Mr. Carey. How can I help you? We're investigating the murder of William Razor. We wish to know, according to the contract,
Yes, I did it.
what are the consequences of his death? I can't tell you any details without Mr. Oliver's permission, but in broad strokes, we'll have to compensate him for the death of Mr. Razor. On that topic, we're very interested in the results of your investigation, Mr. Watson. If you uncover any irregularities, we're ready to reward you. That won't be necessary, says Watson, to our great disappointment.
Well,
So
okay.
this was the Providence, right?
Yep.
The Providence. Okay.
Are we ready to solve this case?
Oh, we got a lot of details.
Yeah, let's go for it. Okay.
The first series of questions has 4 questions. The first question is, who killed William Razor?
Oliver. Daniel Oliver.
Number 2, who could help us prove it? Uh-oh. Sherlock Holmes!
I got a couple of theories on that.
Okay.
Essex, or possibly the company that delivered the goods.
Do you think they delivered an air gun?
Not the air gun necessarily, maybe, but the stuff that was used to rig up whatever this contraption was.
Okay, yeah.
Maybe. It's weak.
Swimwell?
Swearing
Swearingen.
Well.
It's weak. I'd rather have a
Swearingen.
different answer for this, but
Well,
Yeah,
then
we may have missed some steps in the middle if he actually had someone else do the.
I definitely feel like we missed something because I mean, it's a great leap you made is great, but there's very, very little other than the couple of fine things we found in the room.
That's fine.
pulling us there. Yeah,
I'm happy to find out where this takes us. Number 3, how was Razor killed?
elaborate contraption.
Oh, I don't think the elaborate contraption actually killed him.
Oh, okay.
He was shot with the air gun.
Okay. Shot by air gun. Death by air gun. Do we want to write anything else in case they meant more than what was given to us like 2 clues in? Okay. Death by air gun.
Yeah.
Okay.
Number 4, was Sidney Chaplin the victim of a conspiracy against him?
No.
No. He was a victim of a conspiracy against someone else.
Yes.
Yes. No.
Mercy. Second series of questions. There are 3 questions here. Why was William Razor killed?
Money.
Insurance money. Number 6, what company would be interested in our discoveries? The Providence Insurance Company.
Providence. Yeah.
Number 7, what are the 2 loves of Razor?
Opium
Oh.
and little
Theater.
boy. Oh.
Opium and Ralph.
Yeah, I put Ralph.
I guess so, yeah.
Well,
Well, what? Everyone consistently said that he loved his job more than anything else. The only other... He loves him... Well, yeah,
Himself.
I guess... Me, myself, and I.
Yeah, I'm assuming one of those is the love interest because
yeah,
Sure.
That has to be
Okay,
Ralph
Ralph and drugs.
Yeah, Ralph and Opium.
Sure.
All right, let's see what we got.
Let's see what we've got. We have gathered at 221B Baker Street with Dr. Watson, Charlie Chaplin, and a jovial-looking Holmes. We're waiting for Wiggins' arrival. Our wait is short-lived. We've barely settled into our seats when the door opens for Daniel Oliver, solidly held by Wiggins at Holmes' request. I'm sorry, Wiggins. I do realize I'm ruining your chance of breaking into theater. I was even curious to see how you would have betrayed me. Despite his large smile, Holmes' excuses are sincere. That's nothing, Mr. Holmes. There will be other plays, says Wiggins starkly. He pushes Oliver with a bit more strength than is necessary and forces him to sit in the rattan chair. By what right do you hold me here? Demands Oliver. Yes, Holmes, I'd like to hear the answer to that question. Inspector Lestrade is hanging from the Holmes' ceiling like some kind of spider. Come down, Inspector. Holmes takes Lestrade's coat and sits him in a chair in front of Oliver. Inspector, allow me to introduce you to William Razor's killer, Mr. Daniel Oliver. Oliver? Really? Without a doubt, Inspector. This case was offering us a pretty setup from the start. A shot which could be heard by all, the shout of a woman, a man leaning over a body, pistol still smoking in hand, a quality second act, but a melodrama which doesn't match reality. Young Chaplin had no motive, no reason to kill Mr. Razor. In the end, we have to rely on the facts to draw our conclusion. The facts? What do you mean? What do you call the fact that Chaplin was near the corpse with the murder weapon in hand? Inspector, did you not read the report of your own criminologist? Razor wasn't killed with the Webley found in Chaplin's hand. Just that should be enough to lift your suspicions. And the extra proof found in Razor's dressing room clearly allows us to establish the trappings used to kill him, as it's really a magic trick. The proof? What proof? The broken watch chain, the traces of powder on the wall, and the nail in the bed. Holmes! Lestrade climbs over the walls in frustration. Follow my reasoning, you massive monstrosity. If a theory cannot explain all of the proof, then that theory isn't valid. My theory is that Razor was killed before Chaplin came into the room. He was shot, then placed on the bed. Holmes heads to the blackboard, covered with a cotton sheet. He pulls off the sheet, revealing a sketch of the crime scene. The revolver was tied to the bed, held by the nail slid into the trigger guard, and the barrel turned towards the wall. The chain of Razor's watch was then tied to the trigger and the pistol loaded. A sheet hid everything. Then Chaplin comes into the room and turns over Razor's body. The chain pulls the trigger, a blank is fired, causing the presence of powder on the wall, and the chain breaks. Chaplin, thinking Razor is alive and has shot himself, instinctively reacts and takes the weapon from him. In the confusion, Razor's body falls to the floor. A scene is set for our first witness, Miss Brain, who ends the scene with a cry of horror. Says Lestrade, skittering to and fro. You've set up a well-thought-out trap, Mr. Oliver. The producer has remained quiet. Excuse me.
Bless you.
Again.
Let's see it.
I'm allergic to spiders. And murder. But you chose the wrong character, didn't you? None of what you've said proves my implication in the matter, shouts Oliver. I think I can find enough proof here. Holmes turns the blackboard over. On the other side, a map of the theater is drawn in chalk. Holmes pulls his notebook from out of the pocket, opens it, places it in his right hand, and resumes. I compared the testimonies of the actors and the theater personnel, and I managed to determine the sequence of events. As you know, Lestrade, Brian Smith, the doorman, has a journal of arrivals and departures from the theater. The main doors are closed when the theater isn't open, and the only open entrance the day of the murder was the artist's entrance, where Mr. Smith was on watch. Exactly, confirms Lestrade. Oliver remains silent, but a disdainful smile furtively appears on his scowling but attentive face. Let's examine what we know. Oliver was in his office at 11:45, which is confirmed by his secretary. It's precisely at that time that Francis Stanley went out to lunch. leaving Oliver alone in the administrative wing of the theater. Oliver then left his office with his hat, his coat, and his bag. He starts speaking directly to Oliver. You went down the stairs and reached Razor's dressing room by using the exit corridor. There, you pulled a compressed air weapon from your bag and killed William Razor. Ridiculous! You have no proof! All in good time, Mr. Oliver, all in good time. After having killed Razor, you set up your trap. You then left via the corridor. Miss Brain hears your footsteps, believes it's Razor going into his dressing room. You come down the steps into the trap room, going through the dimmer room in the lounge where you stopped to make a phone call. Ryder, the janitor, saw you using the telephone. There's no harm in that. We'll see. You called the person you wanted to frame, Nicola Sabellini. Pretending to be Razor, you asked him to come see you in your dressing room. But Sabellini's lunch had just been brought to him, so he asked the young chaplain to warn Razor that he'd be late. You didn't stay there to make sure that your prey was the right one. You left the theater so that you'd have an alibi when your trap closed. You have no proof! You mean the murder weapon? The one you certainly threw into the Thames as soon as you went home. You are very good at telling stories, but none of this holds up. Holmes opens the door to the bedroom and a man comes out. Yes, that's him, gentlemen, he says while pointing at Oliver. Oliver's face blanches all of a sudden. Holmes turns to the giant spider, Lestrade. Goff here is an armorer, and he happens to have sold a compressed air pistol to Mr. Oliver. You, of course, still have this weapon to hand over to the police to clear yourself. All of this is ridiculous. I will contact my lawyer. Lestrade climbs down from the ceiling, lights a cigarette in the fireplace, and sets himself in front of Oliver with a carnivorous smile. Before that, we'll go over all of these elements together. Come with me to the station. Might need you later, Holmes. After they depart, Holmes pours each glass of port with the exception of Charlie, who instead gets a hot cocoa. We make a toast to the resolution of this new case. Why would he have done that, Mr. Holmes? I think his motive was of a financial nature. But I learned along the years that by looking too hard for a motive, one's attention becomes scattered. It can be a hindrance to the resolution of a case. Sometimes all that's needed is to pull on the thread for the truth to come out. Holmes solved this case with 8 leads.
Okay. It took us 24.
Old Bailey, Murray, the Drury Lane Theater, the Brain, Razor's Room, the Janitor, the Punch and Judy, and the Armorer Goff. I guess that's probably one of the gunsmiths that I was talking about.
Yep.
Probably.
All right.
The lead of the director, who I don't even remember if we spoke to, is free.
Oh, we didn't.
Well, good. Who killed William Ryder?
Daniel Oliver.
Yes, 30 points.
Excellent.
Who would be able to confirm that for us?
Swear and Wells, which is wrong, I'm sure.
Yes, the correct answer is the Armorer Goff for 20 points.
Okay.
How was he killed?
Death by air gun.
Yes, 20 points.
Okay.
Was Chaplin the victim of a conspiracy?
No.
No. Oliver was trying to frame Sabellini for 30 points.
Ooh. Okay.
Number 5. Why?
Money from insurance.
Yes, 20 points.
Okay.
Who would be interested in our information?
Providence Insurance Company.
Yes, 10 points. What are the 2 loves of this sick druggo?
Opium and Ralph.
Yes, 10 points.
We ended up 40 ahead.
Yes!
Sweet.
Good game.
Good game.
Well done, everyone. I was kind of worried about that one, but...
Yeah, we started negative 80 in the hole. I was like, especially knowing that we had one that was probably wrong.
Well, no, I mean, like, over the course of the past couple of hours. Like, I felt like we were getting some good information, but not the information that we needed. And I feel like in that particular case, they knew that we were going to do that, because Holmes's final lecture was very specifically like, you gotta solve the murder.
Don't worry about the motive.
We're talking about practice.
Right.
Good game. Man,
Good game.
I'm so glad that Sherlock isn't dead.
Yeah.
Me too. No.
Hello. Are you
Hello?
glad too?
Hello, you're so glad. I'm so proud of you. Good work. Well, good game. Thank you for playing. Thank you guys for hanging out with us.
GG.
I'll see you next Tuesday for more of that good Dungeons and Dragon. Bye.
Bye.